Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our June 2nd council meeting. This is done remotely as well as online as well as in person, and we have a full house here today. So I'm going to call the meeting to order and start off with the land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen is located on the Treaty 20 Mississauga territory of the Mississauga and Chippewa Nations, collectively known as Williams Treaties First Nations, which includes Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Alderville, Tugog Island, Rama, Beausoleil, and Georgina Island First Nations. The township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen respectfully acknowledges that the Williams Treaties First Nations are the stewards and caretakers of the lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they continue to maintain this responsibility to ensure their health and integrity for generations to come. I'm now going to move into a moment of silent reflection for council and staff to quietly reflect on our duty to the community that we represent. Thank you. I'll ask everyone to make sure your cell phones are off or placed on vibrate so it doesn't disturb the meeting. And remind council of the declaration of pecuniary interest. If it arises, you can declare it then. We're going to start off with an introduction of a new employee. Dan Douglas started with Public Works this week, and
yes, good morning, Mayor Martin and members of council. Yeah, I'd like to introduce our newest member of the Public Works Department in Havelock. Yes, Dan Douglas, and Dan comes here with 20 years of municipal operator experience, so we're very pleased to have him aboard. Thank you.
Welcome, Dan. Welcome, Dan. So we have minutes here from the council meeting on May 19th. I'll look for a motion to receive those minutes if all's in order. Moved by Councillor Doherty, second by Councillor Clement. All in favor? And that's carried. All right, we have 3 delegations today. So I'm going to start off with the first delegation. It's Daniel Terrell, Social Enterprise Associate, Talking Forest presentation for a proposal. Welcome, Daniel.
Hello. Is everyone able to hear me?
Yeah.
Wonderful. And can you see me as well?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I can see all of you. Just making sure we're all connected here. I'll try also sharing my screen, and then we can get started. Great, everyone can see my screen as well. Perfect. Just so I keep within the time frame here, how much time do I have for the delegation?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, I'll try to move quick. First of all, thank you so much for having me today. Good morning, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council, Leah, and township staff. I'm very excited to be here. My name is Daniel Taro, and I'm here on behalf of Ampere to introduce Talking Forest and the opportunity for the township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen to use this platform to support their local trails, parks, natural areas, and community storytelling, all through hopefully an educational lens for youth and the entire population of your municipality. So a little bit about Ampere and Talking Forest. Ampere is a nonprofit social enterprise that focuses on digital tech equity for Indigenous, rural, remote communities. And we partnered with Hamilton Conservation Area and Kawartha Conservation Area in order to create this app as a way for people to be educated about their natural spaces in a way that felt modern and hopefully also saves money for the conservation areas. So the opportunity here for HBM is it's a chance to use this mobile application in a way to create content so that when users are walking through your conservation area, it reacts to their geolocation and is able to give them audio as well as a visual and text education, whatever you want to communicate to them really through the app. So for example, some people use it to promote their local trails, parks, and natural areas, to share stories about ecology and potentially replace signage that is in their park. Truly, the sky is the limit when on how you want to use the app and the geolocations that you want to identify on the app. For example, if you were to partner with a local school, the school itself could use the app to do a project for an appropriate age group and upload content onto the app. People in the town could then download the app, and as they walk through the forest, that education that is being communicated through audio storytelling, they would have access to it. So it works much like as you could imagine. There's a map on your phone, and as you're moving through the conservation area, it responds to your geolocation. So here's just a quick breakdown. You open the app, you're walking through the trail, the stories trigger automatically. It can be hands-free if you want, so that you can enjoy the nature all around you. And you can just continue to explore and connect and engage with your conservation area. So why we hope this matters to you is that it's an opportunity to create a visitor experience with mobile-friendly interpretation. The app can also be enjoyed from the comfort of your own home if you're not out and about, but you still wanted to learn whatever information is on the app. You could do that as well. It can also be downloaded so that if you didn't have strong connectivity in the conservation area, you could still experience the content that's being presented. We also hope that this would be a way for you to promote recreational tourism and community pride, as well as steward messages for environmental reasons and responsible use of your conservation areas. But on the backside of the app, it's much like a website or the back end of a website where someone can manage the content, choose the geolocations, upload the audio content, upload the text content. There's seasonal options in case you're highlighting something important or there's important work in the conservation area that you can launch for a specific period of time. And there's also analytics so that you can see how many people are engaging with the app, and that gives you a sense of really how many people might be walking through your trails and actively using this as a feature of your parks and conservations. Of course, the most fun part about this is the opportunity for education and learning opportunities. And when I was there to visit your conservation area, there is the school very close to it, and this would also mean that without much uh much commitment, an educator could either create content, lead a group to create content, or even just walk through the forest and with nothing more than a phone and maybe a Bluetooth speaker, they could be presenting important ecological information to their group. There is an easy map forward if you're interested in adapting this app. We can get you started onboarding within a week or two, and then what we could do is define a specific experience that you might be interested in presenting to the public, whether that's highlighting a specific trail or an endangered species or something seasonal that's happening. And then we could use some of the existing marketing materials that we have, or create our own in order to present it to the public and ask them to download the app and come and experience this Talking Forest digital walkthrough of a trail, for example. And just for the price of a subscription as well, you can grow it however you see fit over time. So you can add as many trails or conservation areas or parks any nature spaces that are within your jurisdiction, you'll be able to add them to this app. So we would work with you to get that one defined experience so that there's training and onboarding, and then sky is the limit as to how you would like to use it. So what you get is a dedicated workspace, so a back end of the app. Again, very much like a website. So you could assign admin to as many people as you like to manage the content and locations. It's a fun project because you also get to do some audio recording, much like a podcast that would be uploaded onto the app. On Ampere's side, we offer training and support to make sure that you're comfortable using the app. We're constantly also taking feedback and adding features to the app. And you would also have a manager account so that you can just see an overview of everything, including your analytics, and how many people are engaging with each data point. And the last thing is that this is a secure model, so that we want to make sure that your data stays within your organization. Nobody else will be able to see it. There's lots of great ideas for content possibilities. I've gone through a few of them already: ecology, wildlife, geology, seasonal changes, any of the township history, heritage, or community storytelling, stewardship notes, safety notes, responsible use of the trail, curriculum-friendly prompts for schools and youth programming, and tourism, as well as wayfinding support like signage for any of your visitors. So if you are interested in getting started, there would be a basic licensing agreement to use the app, set up an onboarding. We would plan and work together to coordinate that first goal, as well as make sure you're set up to create the content, like audio, images, captions, and triggers. In most cases, people have some of the content. It's just a matter of coordinating it in a way that works best with the app. And the last step is to really just keep going and maybe iterating on that process over time so that it could be extended to all parts of your nature areas. So just to give you a sense of how much this costs, we feel it's very affordable, and we're always willing to work with people and their budget concerns. But for the onboarding, it's $750, and an annual license is $4,500. So the first year, it comes in just under $6,000, and for a renewal, it's $4,500 plus HST annually. So I feel like as though the pricing is very affordable, and there's potentially ways to use the app or coordinate with other departments or organizations in a way that you could also cut those costs. So yeah, that's my quick presentation. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I would be thrilled to answer them.
Thank you, Daniel. And yeah, it's a great idea. And one thing we've done, we put a lot into the Matheson property over here, and we're always trying to make better use of it. So we went through the old days there. We tried signs there. We had the school make some signs up to identify certain areas. I don't think they stayed there very long, but moving forward, this might be something that could work over there. So I'll open it up to council and Deputy Mayor Webb.
Thank you, through you, Mayor Martin. Thank you very much for the presentation, Daniel. Yeah, this is something we've been working on for a couple of years in the Matheson committee. Finally tracked down Daniel. We were able to go up there's an iteration of this being used up at the Ken Reed Conservation up just on the other side of Lindsay. So we went up there, we kind of had a look at how the experience of using it. And we thought, as I said, it was something that would work really good for our Matheson trails in terms of trying to bring more people in to use the trails. I think it being a phone app or whatever, it holds the possibility of bringing in, we're trying to bring in, I think most of the townspeople know about the Matheson property being there, but maybe a lot of our cottagers or lake people don't know it's there. And if we could get that out to them through their phone or this app or whatever way, I think it would open up a lot of opportunities to bring new people into the conservation area. As well as Daniel stated, the further we got into this, we realized that there's a number of ways we could kind of trail off from not just the Matheson property, but kind of other things that have been thrown around is a history walk through Havelock. So the same way we can identify 5, 6 places in the town, the village, or even in the township, put them on. And as I said, it would direct people to those places, not only direct them there, but once they got there, it would have, if you wanted an oral, it would read it out to you verbally. If not, it would just kind of have maybe a page or two that would come up on your phone. So to me, for a lot of these things, especially you kind of just referenced it, Mr. Mayor. So the Matheson property, we spent a lot of money putting up signs in there. The signs get stolen, they get vandalized, things like that. I think something like this maybe prevent some of that from happening. We have more people using the phone apps and these things these days. And as I said, it saves us going out and putting a new sign up every year because somebody's stolen it or damaged it. So I think the opportunity is great. The price, I understand the price in terms of the yearly fee, but that's something just for council to know. We're looking in, there's a TD environmental grant that possibly we could use to cover off, it's up to 15,000. So staff is looking into that. Hopefully, I think just for today, this was just a presentation. Once we do a little bit more digging into the grant and the funding in terms of that, we can maybe bring a report back to council here in the next month or so in terms of how we would like to proceed or if we would like to proceed. So, and have a few more of those questions to be able to be answered. So that's it. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, very good. It's quite a thing. So, Councillor Clement.
So through you, Mayor Martin. So Daniel, if a teacher were to take some of the students from HBM, how long would a session last? Would it be 30 minutes? Would it be an hour? Or can that be customized?
Yeah, it can be customized. It depends on the length of your trail and how many data points you're going to put as part of the experience. So it would really just depend on how much content you're willing to create and upload onto the app. I think one thing we potentially talked about was having a school group create content as a class project. So then in that sense, they're not just engaging with the app as a user, but also as a creator. And I think a lot of kids would potentially take to that, even if it was something that iterated seasonally, so that that project could be presented again and again, and also shared with the township as a whole. I think personally that would be really fun. And to the point there about TD funding as well. As a nonprofit, we're super used to working with our partners in order to help them get funding. So if there's anything I can do on my end to help present this in a way that helps you get that funding, or if it needs to be aligned with certain goals, achievements that the funder is looking for, then I'm happy to do that as well.
Okay, Deputy Mayor Webb.
Yeah, just through, that's actually, that was, thank you for bringing that up, Daniel. One of the things that came out of the committee was, one of the suggestions was that it would be good to pair with the school. So we've had, as I said, we've been working on this for a couple of years. I think about a year ago, I had discussions with the principal about if we went down this road, if they would be possibly willing to partner with us. So in terms of the cost, hopefully, as I said, if it's something we partner with the school, that's something we could maybe share the cost with the school. But as I said, I think it just opens up a lot of opportunities in terms of, looking at things differently, trying something different. And I think it would be beneficial in terms of moving forward. So
yeah, thank you. Councillor Fleischer.
Through you, sorry, I forgot my microphone. Through you, Mayor Martin, what is the cost for the people to use the app? Like, is there a charge for the app?
The app is free for the users. So that it's the app is already live on the Google Play Store and Apple App Store. So they could download it now and go to Ken Reed and experience the trails there on the app. The idea is to make it accessible for the user, right? So and the burden, so to speak, is on the conservation area, or in this case, the township, to pay for their members to have that experience.
Thank you.
All right then. So, well, thank you, Daniel. Is there any other questions from council? So for today, we'll just make a motion to receive the delegation, and it sounds like the Parks Committee will continue to work towards something here. So, so the motion today would just be to receive the delegation, moved by Councillor Flagler, second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? And that's carried. All right then. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Take care.
the next delegation we have listed here is Elmer Buchanan with regards to the mobile canteen bylaw. So.
Yeah, on behalf of the Havelock Farmer and Artisan Market. The senior CAO, Bob, has assured me that council has had a briefing, and so they have some background information that I don't need to go into in great detail. Simply to say that there was a complaint about the hours of operation, which was outside of our posted hours. And the committee attempted to change the hours on the website, and we've run into a problem when we found out that the computer that put them on there was now in Ajax. And the woman that was responsible had some other issues and we couldn't hook up to get the hours changed. Subsequently, there was a complaint this year. Your staff suggested to me that maybe one of the outs around the hours was to have the vendor ask for a permit, license, whatever, and pay a fee to be there. And he quoted to me 2008 bylaw 42, which was the mobile canteen bylaw. And in there it says it was a $10 a day charge to serve food, etc., and a bunch of other things. So staff suggested that I should come to council and see if we could waive the fee. When I looked at the structure of that bylaw, if you were to do that, it suggests that the vendor perhaps then could operate between 7 in the morning and 11 at night and be independent of the farmer's market. And I think that kind of goes against what was intended in the first place, to how do we control the hours of operation and so on. But I'm not sure that works, but that's what I promised staff and others, that I would come here and ask for a waiver of fees. So that's option number one. The second option, which I think is more clean and would have a lasting impact, is to simply ask for a waiver of the, exemption from the bylaw 2008 number 42. And that would take that bylaw out of play for the farmer's market and the food vendors that might be part of that. So that would be my request. I would simply add to you know that the farmer's market brings tourists, it brings people that are going through Havelock to stop. And a couple of weeks ago, and most of you know that I sit over there and hand out newspapers. I often ask people when they come up, are you local? The reason for that is if they're local, they get the newspaper in the mail. And I'm not going to give them another one. And one that was 2 weeks ago, there was 4 people came up in the course of about an hour. One was from Timmins, one was from Norwood, and one was from Ottawa. These are people that were passing through, saw the market. Whether they stopped at the market or food, I can't say. I didn't ask them that question. But I do know that the market and the food vendor brings people off the highway to stop at Havelock. And from my perspective, getting people who are driving down the highway to stop for something at Havelock is a good thing for Havelock, because they will tell others that they stop at Havelock to get something, and that spreads. And just on another note, Jermaine, our chicken guy, was at the Toronto Film Festival last year. He got a write-up in the Globe from the food writer who said Havelock was a great place to stop for lunch. And was quoting Jermaine King's Chicken, which ended up in the Globe and put Havelock in the Globe as a place to stop. To me, that's all useful and helpful. We need a food vendor for the market. 3 years ago, when Back Alley decided that they were tired of it, we didn't have a food vendor, the market suffered. Because food gets people to stop, and when they stop at the market, they sometimes buy food, they sometimes don't. But it's important to have a food vendor, so it's important for the future of the market that we don't lose our food vendor. So my suggestion is looking for an exemption from 2008-42 mobile canteen bylaw rather than the waiver, although that was kind of what staff asked me to come and present. So I've done that, and I've also given you a second option. I'm willing to answer any questions or do whatever you'd like me to do.
Okay, thank you, Elmer. And yeah, this was created quite a while ago, like you say, 2008. And if I remember correctly, a lot of it was around when Jamboree was in town and you had a lot of people trying to set up across the highway. We put that in place to try and help the local establishments that it doesn't impact them. Like you say, this thing here, I do remember a couple of years ago when there was no food vendor there and the suffering that it took over there. I think there's two things we need to do here, and one of them is that we need to look at this bylaw again and revamp it and bring it into today's times. And yeah, and you're totally right. If we were to waive or to go a different route, we're just going to open it up to a lot of problems. So there is an opportunity here to work with what we have here. What was your second?
What was to have an exemption from the bylaw as it currently exists.
Okay. I'll open it up to council and get their thoughts on this. So Kathy, go ahead.
So through you, Mayor Martin, Taylor and I were at a seminar last week all day. And one of the things they talked about with small communities is the importance of a farmer's market. So, and they said, we need to work with them. Until we could get the bylaw upgraded, could we fall under the number 2, just exempt it for this year until we have a new bylaw?
That's up to council.
Yeah, my only question would be around the exemption in terms of, is that going to create more moving forward? So I mean, is somebody else going to come and ask for an exemption for us? I completely understand. I go to the farmer's market. I think it's a great thing. So I'm not trying to hinder it in any way. I'm just trying to say in terms of, with your two options, which one is the better one? So we don't open up kind of a bee's nest here, kind of, right? In terms of people just coming at constantly asking for exemptions.
Yeah, well, and my concern with the waiving the fee is that you kind of open it up.
Yep, the same way.
Make another problem that could be worse. I get the, exemption that people are, but somebody's coming to set up just on a one-off. I mean, they come and ask for exemption. I can't imagine council granting that. So it's on a case-by-case basis. So other people aren't going to have an exemption just because the farmer's market got one for a year. Do whatever.
That's where the exemption would have to be tied to the farmer's market. We don't have them stringing right there.
Yeah, it's not, we're not going to force the bylaw forever. It's.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from council? So, go ahead.
Through you, Mayor Martin, just a question to Elmer. This notion of waiving the fee that was suggested to you, can you just clarify how? I think the complaint was around the hours of operation. So can you just please clarify how that's going to be addressed?
This came to me from staff who's said to me that he had to respond in some way to the complaint. And he thought that this was one way of addressing the complaint, was to look at something a little different, that where the in this case, food vendor would pay a fee. And he thought that would help to address the complaint. As I said, I didn't necessarily think that was the case, but Anyways, that was what was suggested to me. It seems to me that it went from one issue to something different, but
So the rules around this is tied in that it does have a license with the health unit. They came and inspected the property, the same as we do with anything else. Insurance, all of those things that
we have covered, yeah.
with
And
with Canada Day and whatever. So there's certain events that we do every year that does have this. So there is an opportunity to come up with something, but I don't know whether it's this one here, I would say would be tied to the farmer's market, especially because it complements the farmer's market. So we just may need to make sure that we word it right, that we don't open.
yeah, to Councilor Hart's issue.
Just to follow up through you, Mayor Martin. Elmer, for everyone listening and watching, can you just please confirm the hours of the farmer's market?
The hours at the market, as of, for one more week, it's 1 to 5. And after next week will be 1 to 6. And we've put in the web and on Facebook and wherever else people have put stuff, that food will be available between 11 and 6. Because of what the food vendor is now, he goes there early and sets charcoal and gets set up. It takes him a long time to get set up and get the thing fired up, ready to go. And even last year, for example, we discovered that people would stop once they saw the smoke coming. They figured he was there, they'd stop and try to coax him into selling them something. And the same thing at the end of the day, when the barbecue's hot, you've got chicken sitting in these, warming ovens and people are looking for it. And by human nature, he would sell it to them. So that's the hours for food at the moment, 11 to 6. And it'll be 1 to 6 for the rest of the market. Although some of them sell early too, because once we start setting up, you have people pulling off the highway and they come and they stand there and say, can I buy, they want to buy stuff. And there was a time when I tried to police it and stop them from selling. After a while, I gave up because, I had to be there early because the vendors came earlier and earlier. One vendor last week came at 10:30. So anyway, that's a long way around, but that's where we're at in terms of hours.
So those hours will have to be stressed to the vendors that this is the time and so okay. So the idea of exemption would be for the farmers market specifically right now, but I do think we need to look at this canteen bylaw and update it to suit some of the things that we have going on in town now. Like it's not just one event that we're trying to watch out for. We do have other things going on, whether it's fire and ice and and they all include vendors and so what's council's thoughts here?
In terms of moving this forward, to your point, I think that we definitely need to have another look at this bylaw because there's obviously a few loopholes or gaps in it that would need to be readdressed, updated more than anything, probably in terms of helping Mr. Buchanan move forward here or the farmers market. I'm not really sure. I'd look to maybe the CAO to help. Is it possible to give an exemption until we've reviewed the bylaw, or is that something that even council would consider doing? I don't, just to help them move forward, because I guess until we've reviewed the bylaw, obviously we're not going to have something concrete, but in terms of helping him or Jermaine move forward here.
It is important for this to succeed that we do something here. So, go ahead, Bob.
Through you, Mayor Martin, to respond to Deputy Mayor Webb's question. Yes, it is possible to grant an exemption to the bylaw while it's being reviewed for the farmers market. I would caution that an exemption, ask our delegation to just be mindful that all the health and safety regulations, especially around food and fire and all those kind of things are accommodated.
Yeah, we answer to our Ministry of Health when it comes to those things, and I'm sure we get inspected by them, and they even come and watch our vendor prepare his sauces. He goes to an inspected kitchen, and And the health unit inspector comes and watches him as he prepares the different sauces. So that's how tightly regulated we are and so on. Yeah.
All right, so Kathy, go ahead.
So through you, Mayor Martin, I would suggest that we make a motion today to have them exempt it until such time as the new bylaws are reviewed, or do you want two motions?
No, that can be.
Would that be one? Is that okay? All right, I'll make that motion.
Okay, so we have a mover for a motion to up to for the farmers market and work on the updating the bylaw. Is there a seconder for that? Councillor Doherty seconding that. Any other questions around the motion? All in favor of the motion? And that's carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and then to put a bow on this will also help the bylaw officer know what rules are and so on going forward, so we don't get into difficulty in the future. So thank you.
All right, our next delegation here on the agenda is Sunny Seaboard, property discussion. Funny.
I'm Sonny Seaboard. I inherited the property of my parents on County Road 48, fire route number 1948. I'm in the process of moving down from Toronto, and the front of our property, we got a long narrow 100. The front of our property is more like a mountainous area. So in order to move down here, I need to build a new house and an implement shed because it's a farm. And my brother is Larry Seaboyer, and he has a brain injury, and we're getting constant harassment from Michael Gottschalk about cleaning up. So I need time. He gives me a month, but I need more time than that. And he wants to take away my building materials that are for my implement shed, because I have quite a bit of steel there, right? And it's been an issue that we have to get stopped, and we need time to clean up and get Michael off our back. So I spoke to Mr. Webb about an extension on time, and as soon as we finish that conversation, 2 days later, Michael Gottschalk is putting another notice on the fence in front of our property. So we need to get this matter resolved.
Okay, so the way our bylaws work is they're complaint driven. So somebody's obviously complained about the property, and Mike's job is to file law enforcement. So he has to do his part of the job, whether anybody likes it or not. That's his job. And it's good that you came to us today. And this is another part of the process. Communication helps us understand what's going on out there. You know, and maybe it's possible that, you know, council can put a timeline on it. There would have to be a timeline, but I don't know what that would look like. I'll open up to council, but everybody's just doing their job, and this is just another piece of doing what needs to be done with your property. So, Deputy Mayor Webb.
Yeah, well, as Sonny stated, I was out there with our building inspector Travis about a week and a half ago, because I'd heard the issues had come up. We have property just maybe a mile down the road from the Seaboyers. So we went out to kind of see what was up and see if we could kind of come to some kind of resolution. When we left there, I thought, from my point of view at least, that we come to an agreement that we'd give them a bit of time to start cleaning this up, right? And we'd come back at some point in terms of telling them what needed to be cleaned up and what didn't need cleaned. And as I said, that was maybe a week and a half ago. And then I got the call from Sonny, I guess, in the last week, in terms of saying that, you know, our staff had been back out there taking pictures or whatever. So I was just unclear in terms of, to your point, and that's what I conveyed to Sonny in terms of, if we get a complaint or something, then they need to go out. There are certain things that need to be done. So I was hoping that maybe that's why staff was out there and they weren't out there poking around or nosing around. But as I said, I'm still unclear as to what's going on here, because as my understanding was, as I said, we were giving him a couple of weeks at least to start the process of the cleanup here and whatnot, and then we would go out and kind of, you know, address it in terms of if it was up to par or whatnot. But Didn't seem like that he'd got much more than a couple days before somebody was back out there again, so.
Hey, yeah, Councilor Flagler, go ahead.
Through you, Mayor Martin, how much time do you think you need?
At least 3 months.
So if we gave you 3 months, you'd have everything up to.
Yeah, and I also intend to build there, so I have some land development issues that I gotta look into. And in order to be able to build by the proper setbacks. But last year, when I first came down, I had drains bring in some material, but it's not enough for me to build yet.
Okay.
So anyhow, I gotta get more material in there. And I also live and work in Toronto, so I can only do it on the weekends or make arrangements with drains to bring the material, and I take a day off to come down and level out the material type thing, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from council?
Just, sorry,
Go ahead.
through you, Mayor Martin. So, Mr. Seymour, so at this point, like, you don't have building permits, you're just trying to get the property cleaned up?
I'm trying to get the property in order to get the building permits.
Right, gotcha, okay, that's fine, yeah.
Okay, so similar to what we do when people are in the building process, we do put something on the property as far as like for trailers, if they're gonna be living in it to build or whatever, and we put a timeline on it. I don't know, Travis, would this work if we put a timeline on 3 months and then come back and review it? But does that work for your department?
So through you, Mr. Mayor, we've been working with Mr. Seawater, or Mike has been working with Mr. Seawater since last fall, maybe, would it be the start?
Yeah, last July,
Last July.
yeah,
But,
that's when they first came in to put it on this off.
like I said, all we really want is compliance. We were there for a complaint. So the process is we would typically talk to the owner, follow up letters, and then an order. So the last one was an order that gave 30 days for Mr. Seawater to be in compliance. And again, if we see some work back and forth and he's working, we want to work with him and give him time if need be. And that's the process we've been trying to take part of it on with Mr. Seawater, but it's got to the point where there was an order, and then the order was up on May 29th, so Billy showed up just to see where things were at. As far as council giving the extension, I'm not sure council has the ability to do that here today, but we're certainly willing to work with Mr. Seawater as best we can, as we do with everybody.
Okay,
I'm Sonny's brother. The order was up on the 27th, not on the 29th.
Right.
well, okay, so we're trying to work with you here, and like
Yeah.
I say, we if we get complaints, we have to deal with them. That being said, if staff has a direction from council that we give an extension, whether it's 30 days, 30-day increments, or a 3-month extension. It sounds like 3 months would be more realistic. Otherwise, they will have to, but it would be nice to keep us updated on on the progress of the cleanup, because the complaints will keep coming, but this would give staff some direction to they would let them know that council has put an extension on there until for 3 months, if that's what you think you need. So,
Okay.
I don't know what council's thoughts are here, but whether it's 30 days or 90 days.
Through you, Mayor Martin, I'm comfortable with 3 months to give him some time with him working still in Toronto. I mean, that is stressful. So I'm good with the 3 months if council feels that's appropriate.
So you're moving 3 months?
Like to,
Okay. So moved by Councillor Flagler that we put a 3-month extension. Councillor Fleming, go ahead.
So I agree with Councillor Flagler, let's do it in 3 months, but could you give us an update here and there, please?
Yes.
So you're seconding.
I will.
All right then. So I have a mover, I have a seconder. Any other questions?
Excuse
Go ahead, Jerry. I only have a listed delegation here of Sunny, so let him finish here. Thank you. Councillor Drury.
Your part of your motion, you said progress. Is there any time limits on that, or do you want it to progress report to be available for the extension so that the building department or their enforcement will have an opportunity to know whether there's progress during the thing, or will we have the same thing at the end of the 90 days? We don't want any surprises for you, and I don't think we necessarily want them either. So if we could you could provide us with a progress, like we're going to have this completed by the end of June and so on. You know, is that possible?
To my best of my knowledge, it should be possible. Now, in order for the building department, I'm not applying right now. At the end of when I got the property, I guess serviced or whatever, and then apply for the proper permits at the proper times. And like I can do the work myself. I spoke to the Trent Valley Conservation Area, so they're going to come up and have a look where I want the septic system and where I need to put a well. And there is a wetland kind of a type thing that it was a pond when my parents bought the property. We had dug it out, and I guess it needs a cleanup right now, but we're not affecting the water table or anything like that. And so we need to be able to get a building permit. And like I said, I'm going to be moving down here after I get a house built, and I'm going to bring I have an automotive restoration business, and I brought down some of my projects. I have a couple more to bring down. They're stored in 53-foot van trailers, along with all my equipment for my implement shed. It's been there, the storage trailer has been there for at least 10 years, and I just utilized it now. But they tell me that you can't have trailers. You can, only have 2 shipping containers. And I guess I need a bit of a fence or a berm or something across the front of the property to keep it from being an eyesore to the road and the rest of the residents in the community.
So that'll be the main issue here is the, like you bring up a good point if we were to have added like a monthly update, but we're not here for the building permit side of it right now. This is just the bylaw. So over the next 3 months, hopefully you can clean up your site there, and however you do that. And the building part of it will be another part of it. But right now, like I say, it's people driving by or seeing it. So if there's a way of cleaning up what people are seeing, that'll probably save a lot of hassle. And for the future, the building permit side of things, that'll be another piece of the puzzle as far as you'll be dealing with the building department. This is just bylaw enforcement.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So is the mover and seconder okay with the monthly update?
Yep.
Okay. So that would be a 90-day with a monthly update of progress.
Okay.
So mover and a seconder are okay with that. Any other questions from council? All in favor? And that's carried.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, have a nice day.
You too. Okay, that's the end of our delegations. So we'll move on to staff recommendation. I'll just let them know. So okay. All right then, staff reports for information. We have 4 of them here. The first one is the department update from the Parks and Rec Department. Second is the Manager of Public Works Department update for March and April. And the third is Treasurer's report with council remuneration expenses. And the fourth is Integrity Commissioner annual report. Is there any questions on any of them reports? If not, I'll look for a motion that we receive the reports for information. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb that we receive the reports for information. Second by Councillor Flagler. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, so we're going to move into staff reports for follow-up action. We have a number of them here today. So the first would be our treasurer, Lionel Towns, authorization to enter into an agreement for the Havelock wastewater treatment plant upgrades. Lionel. So. I don't know if you have anything to add to the report at all, but with regards to the lagoons over at and doing the upgrades over there to which is a great thing. It's going to allow us extra capacity, which we're lacking right now. So that was all up to, I think it puts us up to 200 homes when that's completed, where right now we're locked in around 28. So, anyways, so that's a good grant to get, and we have a recommendation before council. What's your thought? So,
Motion.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb that we approve the recommendation, and second by Councillor Clement. All in favor? And that's carried. That was easy, Lana. Okay, the next item here is new entrance for off by the Devil's 4 Mile on 46. We had a delegation of people asking about the item here. Peter?
Yes, good morning, Mayor Martin, members of council. Purpose of the report, to provide council with information regarding previously presented delegation request for a new road entrance at Highway 46 and Devil's 4 Mile Road. Recommendation that council deny the request for the proposed new road entrance at County Road 46, Devil's 4 Mile Road. I'd just like to share a bit of the background. Staff visited the site, and based on the elevation difference from County Road 46 down to the Devil's 4 Mile Road with the cost associated with it, it's in the opinion that the proposed entrance does not meet the necessary requirements to support at this time.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Peter with regards to this? So the recommendation is that we deny the request. Moved by Councillor Clement. Seconded for that. Anybody want a second?
May I say so? Okay. Through you, Mayor Martin. So Peter and I were out there, and it's going pretty well straight up a rock cliff, which would make it virtually impossible. So that's why I'm denying it.
All right, so yeah, I'm familiar with the terrain, and it would be a challenge, but so is there a seconder for the motion at all? You gonna second it?
I'm familiar with the terrain.
Yeah. Okay, so second by Deputy Mayor Webb. Any questions on the motion? All in favor? That's carried. Okay, next, single axle dump truck.
Purpose of this report is to seek council's approval to award the request for quotation for a single axle dump truck through the Canoe Procurement Group of Canada Cooperative Purchasing Program. The recommendation, the council provided approval to award the purchase of a single axle dump truck to Winslow Jerome Motors in the amount of $360,056.65, including the non-refundable HST through the Canoe Procurement Group of Canada Cooperative Purchasing Program. Sorry, but yeah, so that's the recommendation. Yeah.
So that's replacing the old single axle.
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin. Yes, it's a 2014, and it's just a little history. It's a 10-year life cycle. We've extended it because of the condition and to spread out some of the cost of the fleet. So yeah, so we can extend it to 2026, and we're probably still looking at a 2-year turnaround time before we actually receive the vehicle.
Yeah. Okay. Deputy Mayor Webb.
Yeah. Do you so we only got one bid on the truck?
Through you, Mayor Martin. So I reached out through the canoe program for 3 prices, and only one comes.
Only one bid on it. Is there?
Yeah.
Is there a shortage of trucks, or like in terms of? That just seems odd that we'd only get one bid back.
Yeah, through you, Mayor Martin. I can't remember the names of them. Peterbilt was one, was a dealer through the canoe program, and I can't remember the other name right now. But yeah, I did reach out to 3 different companies, and only one did submit a quotation for the truck.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Doherty, go ahead.
Through you, Chair, there's no, the quote is firm. There's no exchange rate possibilities or anything on it. It's a firm quote with a 24-month delivery, or is it open-ended, the delivery date, just whenever they get it?
No, through you, Mayor Martin. That's a good question, and it's locked in. So as soon as we approve, if council so chooses, and we give the go ahead to Winslow's, that's the price. It's locked in.
Go ahead.
Through you, Mayor Martin. The truck that we're replacing, I'm having a hard time.
Let's try that again. There you go.
The truck that we're replacing, are we selling that on the Gibbs or on the website, you know, where you sell vehicles?
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin. Yes, we'll if we do go ahead and award, then we'll keep using our single axle truck currently until we have the new replacement, and then we'll go on the Gov Deals site for sale. Yep.
It's hard when you, at one time you were lucky, maybe within a year you would get these vehicles, and now we're having to plan way ahead just because. So 2 years out, it's a long time to have a truck that's giving you troubles. So anyways, what's council's thought? The recommendation here is that we award to single axle dump truck to Winslow Drone. Anybody want to move by Councillor Clements? Second, Councillor Doherty. All in favor? And that carried. Okay, next item here is the tender with Public Works with regards to the CCTV sewer inspection on Highway 7. Go ahead, Peter.
Yep, through you, Mayor Martin. The purpose of the report is to obtain council's approval to award tender PW 2026-02 for the connecting link to Ottawa Street CCTV sewer inspection. The council provides an approval to award PW 2026-02 HPM connecting link Ottawa Street CCTV sewer inspection to GFL Utility Services in the amount of $45,144.66, including the non-refundable HST.
I'm glad you explained the spread because we had 2 bids on there and the one was really high and I've never seen that before. So I don't know whether they missed something on the other bid or I hope this one didn't miss anything. So
yeah, through you, Mayor Martin. And we had to engage engineering review the bids for compliancy and they seem to.
good. Okay, so the recommendations there. Seconded by Councillor Flagler, seconded by Deputy Mayor Webb. All in favor? And that's good. Okay, so we have some in-kind requests here. So the first one is for Fire Nice to use the town hall for meetings. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, seconded by Councillor Councillor Clement, sorry. Yeah, so have a mover and a seconder. This isn't, you checked all these dates, so they're not conflicting with anything that's going on.
Yes, Chief Mayor Martin, there's no conflict in these dates.
Okay, so we have a mover and a seconder, all in favor? That's carried. Next item here is the Pumpkin Parade Committee. They're looking for any kind use of the town hall too. Moved by Councillor Doherty, second by Councillor Clement, all in favor? That's carried. And the next is the Royal Canadian Legion facility rental request for the ball diamond for a tournament that they're having. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? Carried. Okay, the next is in-kind request for the town hall celebrate Havelock committee. We would like to use town hall for their meeting. Moved by Councillor Flagler, second by Councillor Clement. All in favor? Carried. Town hall is going to be busy. All right then. So the next item on here is an event to be held on the property for Canada Day. So request for the use of the arena location on July first, so. Moved by Councillor Clement. Second by Councillor Fleiser. All in favor? Carried. Next is an event to be held at the beach back at Cashbog Lake. The dock sale they're having back there, so. Councillor Scott. Councillor Doherty's moving that, second by Councillor Clement. All in favor? That's carried. And they're busy, so we're not making a lot of money. So the visitor center, welcome Taylor. Have a report here with regards to the visitor center staffing.
So the purpose of this report is to seek council's approval to find staffing at the Havelock Visitor Center. It is recommended that council approve funding for 2 tourism ambassador student staff positions at the visitor center during peak tourism months, July and August.
Okay. So in the past, there was a Chamber of Commerce that helped us with a lot of this stuff, and they're not out there right now. So in those hours, are they pretty firm? Like, is there any way of, like, you figure that's going to cover everything?
Yeah. Sundays, not like everyone's going home. No one's here to tour around. So we're focusing on the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Friday will be mainly at the farmers market.
The cost is the, all we got to figure out. So
the total estimated cost for 2 student staff is $7,603.20, and we have budgeted a total of $8,316.
nice. All right, sounds good. Okay, Councillor Flagler is moving that, second by Councillor Clements. Any questions? Go ahead, Dave.
Mark, on the brochure, may only a small thing, and maybe we don't want to put it on. There's no mention to Jack's Lake. Is one of it is in our township, or part of it. I don't know whether we want it because it's quite a distance, but our township. So.
Would it be number 4 after Lakes and Waterfront?
Not specific.
Jack's Lake, number 4.
Oh, sorry, it's Princess Point.
No.
Thank you. You'll get old someday. You'll get old. Thank you. Well, just that 4 years ago or so, when I went in over it, the same thing, it was off and then it was put on. It says people kind of get offended. Thanks, Carol, for bringing it to my attention. And Councilor Clements.
All in favor of the motion then? And that's carried. Okay, next is the Economic Development Joint Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan.
Yes, the purpose of this report is to seek council's endorsement of the draft plan, subject to any comments received at the meeting. The recommendation is that council provide comment on the draft community-wide the draft county-wide joint community safety and wellbeing plan for consideration.
Okay. What the council's thoughts there? Feedback. So. Okay.
Just, do you remember, is this a new committee or what?
So at the February 3rd, 2026 council meeting, council approved the collaboration of a joint community safety wellbeing plan with the Peterborough County and other municipalities. So we're working all together to combine one joint plan.
Which meeting was that at? Ours? Was that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, the recommendation is council should make comments on the meeting at the moment. Second there, second by Deputy Mayor Webb. Okay, any other questions? All in favor?
All right.
Oh,
Just for clarity, removing adoption will go comment.
I thought we were just seeing to get more comments. I thought that's what he
we're
said.
gonna make more.
Okay.
When do you need them by?
When do you need to make this back?
And as soon as possible.
Okay, so we'll bring back the next meeting.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Great. Thanks, Deb. We have a private grant application for Fire Road 54. We'll see the recommendation there. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councilor Flagler. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay. Restricted acts after nomination day and Bob.
Yes, through you, Mayor Martin. So this is an item that comes up in election year every time. So as per section 275 of the Municipal Act, the act provides that in an election year, council, if it will include less than 3/4 of the members of the outgoing council, the council shall not take any of the following actions as listed in the report, and council can delegate authority.
Okay. So recommendations there. And
That we pass the bylaw.
pass that bylaw, okay, so let's move by Councilor Clement. Second. Councilor Doherty, any questions? All in favor? Carried. Next item here is the Seabrook Monument. So this has been going on for quite a while, and over the there we got the rock moved up into this down here, and we've been working on getting some sort of a plaque, and there's a recommendation before you with regards to a stand and a plaque to go with the rock. So let's move by Councilor Clement. Do I have a second before, and then I'll second by Deputy Mayor Webb, and then any questions on that motion? Go ahead.
Just a comment, I see a number of members and family sitting in the audience today. Thank you very much for your patience. I understand this is for some of you, it's been a little bit longer than we would have thought it would have taken at the beginning of all this, but as I said, it's a very nice tribute, and the town's proud to be able to honor one of the mainstay families of our community for a number of years. So between having the rock over there, we get this plaque up there, and maybe we can have a nice opening ceremony to recognize all the people and what your family has done for this community over the years. So thank you very much to all of you.
Okay. All right. So the cost here is $502, and everybody's seen. I don't know whether there's no picture of it or anything. Okay. Is there? Going to be similar to the one that's at the Patterson Park, but it's going to be a little higher.
It'll be bigger.
Yeah, and bigger. So anyways, it'll have the full story on there. So it'll be really nice to add to that and finish it off. So, okay, so we have a mover and a seconder. All in favor? That's carried. Okay, that's it for business. So the correspondence action items. We have 2 items here. One's the Peterborough County plowing match. It's a little smaller version of the international plowing match, but it's always a good time. I didn't do too good last year, but anyways, it's a fun day, and if anybody gets a chance to go out and check it out, it's worthwhile. So you need to. Do we donate anything to that thing off, or you just need a motion to see?
Mayor Martin, they are requesting a donation as they do every year. Last year, our donation was $200.
Okay. By Councilor Clement. Second by Flagler. Any questions? All in favor? And that's carried.
Sorry, just to clarify, the $200 donation?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So, okay, the next item here is with regards to the tree giveaway that the county is planning to do. I don't have a lot of information. I didn't know it was coming to this meeting to, there's still a few more questions on it, so I just kind of suggest that we, bring this back to the next meeting and just receive it for today. And, it's a good thing, and it would complement our tree giveaway. But, just need to know more details on how many trees it's gonna be, and they're gonna do it anyways. It's just whether they have to have permission to come into Havelock-Belmont-Methuen, so, that's why it's here for us today, but we don't have enough information on it. It just came to our last meeting. And Councilor Clement?
So through you, Mayor Martin, so we will also still have our tree giveaway like we always do, or usually?
That's up to council, but I would, personally, I would think for the first year anyways, we would continue. We do ours every 2 years. With all the trees that have been knocked down over the past few years.
Absolutely.
I think it's a good thing. And we told them at county council that we do our own. There's a couple others that do it too. But we just need a little more information that we could bring it back for a resolution at the next meeting. That will probably be here.
So I'll second that.
Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councilor Clement. Any other questions on it? Go ahead, Gary.
What's the cost going to be to the township? Are they going to prorate the cost?
That's what we'll bring back more information. That's why.
Well, we already have a tree program.
Yeah.
And if they're getting a grant, they're applying for a grant. So how does the grant work? If they get the grant, do we get a portion of it? Similar, do they assess us for our taxes on an assessment basis, or how like there's a lot of unanswered questions, and then the logistics of how they're going to give them away and who's going to manage that, because typically the county makes these programs and then uploads the work to the townships. But if it's their program, I think we need to know how it's functionally going to work.
Deputy Mayor and myself are at County Council tomorrow. We can get more information on this and bring it back to the next meeting. We brought forward in the last meeting, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Carrie about the details like you're talking about. So if we could just get the motion to defer it, and I think it's a move in the secondary place already. Yeah. Okay. So all in favor of that motion? And that's carried. Okay, we have a couple of, or one item here for correspondence. For information only. And that's with regard to grant work completion report. So motions to receive the balance of the correspondence. First by Kathy, second by Hart. All in favor? Carried. Okay. And the next item on here is committee liaison reports. And we had one report. Community policing minutes from April. I don't know if you have anything to add to it.
Through Mayor Martin, yes, I do. It's we had our Grand Cruiser on the 23rd. Very, very disappointed in the OPP. They didn't provide us with a car. And yes, they were requested a couple of times. So that's very annoying when it's the Grand Cruiser. And we had a very bad day. It's cold and wet. We didn't raise as much as we would have liked, but I was going to speak to somebody to see whether we could get a hold of the OPP. Perhaps I could do it to the committee and to Deputy Mayor Webb to see what the problem was, because it really did kind of affect us. Thank you.
Mayor, I was there during, you're right, it was an awful day. But I have a question. Can you take it back to your committee? Because I usually give them money, and then they told me no, they prefer bags. Can you clarify what they would prefer?
I don't know who would tell you we didn't refuse money, because we took it all day Saturday.
Yeah,
so perhaps you asked the wrong person. Secondly, the cash, how much we got, is that what you're?
No. All I'm saying, so I went to hand one of the people cash, and she said, oh, this year we'd prefer bags. And I said, oh, well, I've always given cash before. So then they said, okay. So then I took it over to Sharon, And Sharon said, oh yeah, we like the cash. I said, okay, somebody's got to
Well,
decide.
the answer, it's a food bank draw and there's bags inside. So I guess that the idea was you could take the cash and buy the bags and bring them out. But I'll certainly bring up your concerns to the committee that,
Yeah.
that there's a communication issue. Thank you.
Sorry, just one minute. I think with the cash, they could probably buy more. I think, depending on where they get it or whatever. I think it's a good idea, Jay.
So you remember, it creates some logistic problems because we have to hand it off. We're accountable. They have to be accountable. So we try and get it to be product as opposed to monetary. So
Thanks.
we'll certainly tighten up our committee, Councillor Clements, for sure. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so motion to receive the liaison reports, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Dort, or sorry, Councillor Sligo. I'm having a tough time with it. All in favor, carried. Okay, so we don't have any written notice of motion before us. Is there any oral notice of motion? Okay, move into other business. And one thing so there was the list of the Cram the Cruiser, the Fishing Derby, and the County Recognition Awards in our in this other business. And to your point about the Cram the Cruiser, I said that day, if you've seen the list of things going on in town, there was so many things going on at the same time and the same day. Unfortunate, because we do have a calendar that try and spread them out a little bit, but anyways, that probably didn't help any, and the weather, it was a miserable day. So but anyways, for these other business, any questions on any of these things? So it would be just a motion to receive the other business. Clements moving that. Deputy Mayor Webb is seconding it. All in favor? And that was carried. Okay, we'll move into bylaws. The first bylaw here is bylaw for the housing infrastructure program with regards to the water the transfer payment for the grant. So moved by Deputy Mayor Webb. Second by Councillor Doherty, all in favor? And that's carried. And bylaw to authorize temporary delegation authorized to the CAO. Any? Yeah, I don't know about that. But anyways,
That's right.
okay, so moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? Here. Okay, so need a motion to go into closed session held under section 239(2)(e) for litigation, potential litigation, and 239(2)(k) position plan procedures, criteria, structure. A motion to go into close. Moved by Kathy, second by Hart, all in favor? Okay. All right, so motion to resume open session. Jerry, Kathy, all in favor? Carried. All right then. I'm just trying to lost my agenda. All right, so we're back in open. So that's all we have. So just confirming bylaw for today's meeting. Moved by Kathy, second by Hart. All in favor? Carried. Motion to adjourn. Hart and Jerry.